Sairam students, as you all know, your exams are very near. So this week we are only going to do revision. Alright. Now, today we are going to do revision on adjectives and kinds of adjectives and degree of comparison. Now students, if you all remember, I had given few exercises on adjectives just before we were going for May holidays, right? So quickly get that book where you have written the answers, as at the end of this session I'm going to discuss all the answers and simultaneously you can do the correction. So let's start with what is adjectives. Now, before understanding adjectives, let us first recollect what is noun. Nouns are the words that contain person, place, animal, things or any idea. Correct? So now let us understand what is adjectives. Adjectives usually provide relevant information about the nouns or pronouns. That means adjective is a word that describes a noun or a pronoun. Now, they describe by answering the questions what kind, how much, how many, which one or how much. Now, adjectives are used for comparisons also. Let us understand this with an example. Now here, Ram is a boy. But we are not able to understand Ram is which kind of boy. So let's see this sentence. Ram is a good boy. Now here good is adjective. Okay, and good is describing the noun Ram. Here Ram is noun and it is describing the noun Ram. That Ram is a good boy. So it is quality. It is talking about quality of Ram. Okay, now let us understand different types of adjectives. Now, different types of adjectives are descriptive, that is qualitative adjectives, then is quantitative adjectives, then is adjectives of number, demonstrative adjectives, interrogative adjectives, possessive adjectives, and distributive adjectives. Now, let us understand this step by step. Now, let us understand descriptive adjective. Descriptive adjectives are also called as qualitative adjectives. Now, descriptive adjectives provide information and attribute to the noun or pronouns. Or in a simple way we can understand this. Words that describe quality of a noun or a pronoun are called descriptive adjectives or qualitative adjectives. Now, this basically answer the question what kind. Like for example, I have a nice teddy. Now here, nice is the descriptive adjective over here. Okay, and this nice is describing teddy. Now if I ask question, what kind of teddy? So I get the answer, nice teddy. Right, so when I get the answer for what kind, it will be descriptive adjective or qualitative adjectives. Now, some more example for descriptive adjectives are brown, that is I have a brown teddy, I have a awesome teddy, I have a cute teddy. Correct? Alright, now let's move ahead. Quantitative adjectives provides and information about the quantity of the nouns or pronouns. It generally answers the question how much. Like for example, I have enough money. Now here I will ask question, how much money? I'm getting the answer, enough. Right? So enough will be quantitative adjectives. Now some more example for quantitative adjectives are some, that is I have some money, I have little money, I have more money, and so on. Alright, now let's move ahead and understand the next type of adjectives. Adjective of number. Now, words that describe exact number of noun, or it shows the order in which a person, an animal or a thing stand, are called adjectives of number. Like, and it generally answer the question how many. So let's look at this example. Sam has 4 apples. So I will ask question, how many apples? So I'm getting the answer, 4 apples, right? So I'm getting an exact amount, exact number. So it will be adjective of number. Some more example of adjectives of number are 2, second, 10 and so on. Now you can see the difference. In quantitative adjectives, here we have quantity, okay? Now, but we are not having an exact figure. It is just talking about the quantity. And here in this adjective of number, we have the exact number. Okay, so can you understand the difference between adjectives of number and quantitative adjectives? Alright, now let's move ahead. A demonstrative adjectives directly refers to something or someone. Okay, now see students, the word demonstrative itself means demo, means show or point. So the words that points out a person, things or animals are called demonstrative adjectives, like this, that, these, those. Now let's understand this with an example. This book is mine. Now see, this, I'm pointing, this book is mine. Now one more clue I will give you. If you want to identify demonstrative adjectives, so just beside the demonstrative word, that is this, that, these, those, you will always find a noun. You will just find noun beside the demonstrative adjectives. Alright? Okay, now let's move ahead. Our next type of adjective is interrogative adjectives. And interrogative adjectives are used to form questions. And interrogative adjectives must be followed by a noun or a pronoun. Now this is very important. We will understand this with an example. Now, WH words are used with nouns to ask question. Okay, so you will have WH type of questions like who, whom, which, what, who. Now let's understand this with an example. Which book is yours? Now in this example, which is an interrogative adjective, correct? Now just how we will identify interrogative adjective is just beside the question, that is which, you will find a noun. Now see, just beside this question which, I am getting the noun book. Alright. Okay, now let's move ahead. Now next type of adjective is possessive adjective. Now possessive adjective indicates possession or ownership. Possession, when we are possessive of something, so it is words like my, his, her, they are all possessive type of words. Okay, it suggests the belongingness of something to someone. All these adjectives always come before a noun. Now see, all these adjectives will come before a noun. Possessive adjectives are my, his, her, our, their, your, and so on. Now let us understand this with example. Joe left his bat at home. Now in this case, you can find the possessive word, possessive adjective like his, and just you can see just beside his you will find noun, that is bat. As I said in the third point, All these adjectives always come before a noun. Okay, so here you can see there is a noun had, and just before noun I'm getting the possessive adjective, that is his. Alright. Our next type of adjective is distributive adjective. Now distributive adjective denotes single number of nouns among many. It is used to refer people or things individually. Now some example of distributive adjectives are each, every, neither, either, and so on. Now let's understand this with an example. Every child needs care and love. Now here the word every is distributive adjective. Now let's move ahead. Now students, these are the questions which I have already given you before we went on holidays, right? So I will tell you the correct answer and you are going to cross-check your answer, right? Okay, the first one. The car sustained heavy damage in the accident. Now here, heavy is the adjective and it is quality, adjective of quality, as it is showing heavy damage, so it is talking about quality. Then next is John won the second prize. So here second is the adjective, and since it is showing the exact number, it is adjective of number. Then the third one is a dog is very faithful to its master. Now here faithful is the adjective and again it is talking about quality, so it is adjective of quality. Now in this sentence, every man has his duties. Now here every is distributive adjectives. Then the next one, neither party is quite in the right. Now in this sentence, neither is again distributive adjectives. Then after that is, which color do you prefer? Now it is a question, so it is which, that is interrogative adjective. Now the next question is, the way was long, the wind was cold. Now here long and cold both are adjectives and both are describing, that is descriptive, so it is qualitative adjectives. Then the next is, he calls me every day. So here every is distributive adjectives. Then the next is, he died a glorious death. Now in this case glorious is again descriptive, so again qualitative adjective. Now let's understand degrees of comparison. Now adjectives are used for comparison. Adjectives change in form when they show comparison. Now we have three types of comparison, that is positive degree, comparative degree and superlative degree. Now we will first understand what is positive degree. Positive degree, an adjective is said to be in positive degree when there is no comparison. When I am not comparing anyone, it is or anything, it is called as positive degree. For example, she is beautiful girl. Now the next is comparative degree. An adjective is said to be in the comparative degree when it is used to compare two nouns or pronouns. Now when I want to compare any two things or between two persons, it is always comparative degree. Alright, like for example, she is more beautiful than her sister. Now see, there is only two persons involved over here, so it is called as comparative degree. Now let's understand ahead. Superlative degree. An adjective is called superlative degree when it is used to compare more than two nouns or pronouns. Now when I am comparing more than 2%, it is called as superlative degree. Now, very important note, we use the article the before the superlative degree. Like for example, she is the most beautiful girl in the class. Now here, the most beautiful girl. Now see, I have added the over here, right? So whenever whenever you will be doing superlative degree, okay, so you need to add the and then comparison, right? Now let's move ahead. Now there are certain rules which we need to follow while doing comparison. Okay, the comparative is usually formed by addition of er or est to the positive degree. Okay, now this is the positive degree, bright. So here it is brighter and I'm adding er, okay, for comparative degree, and for superlative I'm adding est, so it will be brightest, right? Now we'll see the next example. Black, blacker, blackest. Bold, bolder, boldest. Clever, cleverer, cleverest. Now the next rule is when the positive ends in e, only r or est are added to form the comparative and superlative degree. Okay, now brave. Okay, now see, it ends with e, the last word is e, so my comparative will be braver, braverest, and I'm adding er, and over here I'm adding est in superlative. Got it? Now we'll read the next example. Fine, finer, finest. Then is large, larger, largest. Then is nice, nicer, nicest. Alright, now let's move ahead. Now rule number 3. When the positive ends in y and has a consonant before it, we change y into I and then add er and est. By deleting final y, we are going to add IER or IEST. Now let's understand this with example. Now my positive adjectives are ending with y. For example, costly. Okay, now see, it is ending with y. So what I'll do, I will cut this y from the last, okay, and I will write instead of instead of y, I will write IER. So it will be costlier. And then in superlative, I will write IEST, that is costliest. Got it? Now we'll read the next example. Dry, drier, driest. Easy, easier, easiest. Happy, happier, happiest. Alright, now let's move ahead and look at the rule number 4. But if y is preceded by a vowel, then y is not changed into I, then er and est are added. Now let's understand this with example. Now here in this positive adjective, the last word in gay, the last letter in gay is y, okay, and just before y we are getting the letter A, okay, and A is vowel, right? So in this case, when we are finding vowel just before y, so we will not cut y. Instead of cutting the y, we are going to write er or est. Here we are writing in comparative er, and in superlative we are writing est. So it will be gay, gayer, gayest, right? Now we'll read the next example. Grey, grayer, greyest. Now here rule number 5. When the positive degree ends in a consonant with a vowel, before it we double the consonant and then add er and est. Now we'll understand this with example. Now here in this adjective big, we have got consonant at the end, right? We are getting G, letter G, Letter G is a consonant, and just before G we are getting a vowel, that is I. Now we can see in all the examples, okay, like here also M is consonant, and just before consonant with we are getting vowels, that is I. I hope you all know what is vowels. Vowels are A, E, I, O, U, right? Then below that, then there is another example of adjective, that is fat. Now again here it ends with consonant, that is the with the letter T, and then just before that we have a vowel A. So now how we are going to change this? Whenever we get a letter where the last letter is consonant and just before that we are getting a vowel, so we will double the last letter, okay? So we will write bigger, big will become bigger, and we will add ER also. Along with that we are adding ER for comparative. And then for superlative we are again we will double the consonant, the last consonant, and we will add EST, so it will become biggest. Okay, now let's read the other examples. Dim, dimmer, dimmest. Fat, fatter, fattest. Alright student, let's move ahead. Now the next rule is by placing more and most before the positive form. Okay, now for example active. Okay, so active will be more active for comparative and most active for superlative. Then again attractive. Attractive is more attractive for comparative and most attractive for superlative. Then is beautiful. Beautiful is more beautiful, most beautiful. Then is brilliant. Brilliant is more brilliant, most brilliant. Alright. Now next, let's move ahead. Now students, rule number 7. Some adjectives do not follow any of the rules. They are compared irregularly. Like for example, bad, worse, worst. Evil, worse, worst. Good, better, best. Alright, now let's move ahead. So let's solve revision exercise. Adjectives are given and you need to find out comparative and superlative form. Now here in this case, interesting, more interesting, most interesting. True, truer, truest. Old, older, oldest. Red, redder, reddest. Okay students, let me pick out a superlative word for you and frame a sentence. Example, reddish. This is the reddish dress I have ever seen. So this is how you will frame the sentence. Alright? Alright students, I'm sure you all are well prepared for the exam. Keep practicing. Okay? Saira, take care.